He's been racing really well. He puts himself up on speed and he can sustain a strong gallop.
And unlike Harlech, he seems to be quite consistent. You know what you're going to get with this horse. He may not have the class or the ability of Harlech, but he may just be racing up to his best and showing everything that he does have, and that could take him a long way in this race because he's very honest. He drops in weight after carrying the big impost last time out and should be hard to run down. Yeah,
drops 8 kilograms on last start's performance, whereas only narrowly beaten at Cranbourne. Now, there's good speed in this race, and one of those that we know will be up there is number 6, Reine Happy.
Yeah, very fast horse. Could be tested at the end of a strong 1,400 metres, but Daniel Moore, the senior jockey, goes on after being ridden by the apprentice Taylor Childs last time out and just went too quick in front and was really weak over the concluding stages there. So this horse does need to turn it around. He's not getting any younger, but I would have thought he's an outside hope at best.
The second of the Mitch Beer horses is number 7, Sky Call. What can you tell us about her?
Look, her 2 runs in Sydney at Randwick and then on the Kensington track this time in have only been plain. She does need to really improve off what she's produced on those occasions, so I thought she was an outsider for, justified as being one of the outsiders.
The first of the locally trained gallopers in the Cup this year from the Russell Osborne stable is number 8, Red Impulse.
I'd assume that Russell Osborne would have this horse absolutely primed for everything that he could show his best here. I thought his run at Moonee Valley was quite good on a night that was difficult to make up ground in that race. He come from well back behind Chips Are Down, Phoenix Global, Pioneer River, Australis. This is clearly a step up in grade, but for the locals, I think it can run a bold race.
Another local who last start was at the Valley now comes back to the home track is Red Octane.
Yeah, well, this horse, I think, will struggle getting out to the 1,400 metres. I think it will be stretched at this distance range. Very fast, on-speed type that needs a shorter distance than what he faces here, the way that I'm reading its form.
Mitch Beer's third runner here is Nementh, who's put together a string of really good runs, finishing second his last 3 starts. Can he win today?
Well, the stable seem to feel that he's their best chance of winning and taking home the Benalla Cup. He's been quite consistent. His past 3 runs running second at Corowa, Canberra and Albury in class races that would be, I think, inferior class-wise to what he faces here. But look, he's in good form and looks like he's ready to peak.
What can you tell us about number 11, Settle Then Lift?
2 runs this day preparation have been very average, and I couldn't entertain it at double that price.
And similarly at a big price here, number 12, Moss and Me.
Yep, not competitive, I would assume here. It's been well beaten in benchmark 58s and it doesn't look like it's up to this.
And here we turn our attention back to number 2, which is Harlech, who drops down from the Sir Rupert Clarke Stakes, first up here in Australia. Then he went to the Toorak Handicap.
Well, there's Black Sail. We already had a look at Black Sail, spoken about him, so it'd be good if we can get a look at Harlech. We'll have a look at it shortly. But yeah, Black Sail jumped out quite nice, as we referenced before, and I think he can be competitive first up in this race. It seems as though the team have targeted Black Sail towards one of the features here, fresh.
Yeah, first up, Black Sail for Kieran Meyer and David Eustace. Zach Spain's already got a winner on the program at Benalla today, but hopefully we'll get some shots of Harlech soon for the Mike Maroney stable. Dan Stackhouse in the saddle, and he's just a fascinating runner, BZ. There he is. Alongside the lead pony out to the barriers, because he's got some great form as a 3-year-old back in New Zealand. He's had 2 starts in Australia, both in Group 1 company. He's very hot and he gets the earmuffs for the first time on today.
Yeah, I'm hoping that gear change can just soften him down a touch. I did notice that Jane was suggesting in the mounting yard on Caulfield Cup, not Caulfield Cup Day, on Caulfield Guineas Day, that he'd improved from his first run to his second, but it didn't exactly transform to being improved performance on the track. He still was very keen in the run, but I think coming back in trip to the 14, another run under his belt, hopefully that's just taken the edge off him. And with that gear change, if he races anywhere near his best, he's too good for this field. But it's a huge query as to whether he can get back to his best form, because even though he's been in elite level Group 1s compared to the opposition he's facing here, he still needs to show his best manners if he wants to be winning this. So I'm rolling the dice and hoping that his manners can be right to beat Black Sail, Easy Beast, and then Aim Smart as one of the roughies. But a lot of trust going into whether Harlech can get it right between his ears.
Well, he's still an entire. He's a 4-year-old by Darcy Brahma, and this is a clear drop back in class. We hope to see the best of Harlech today, and you'd think that the speed in this race, good speed here, that we might be able to see him relax. Let's check in with Sportsbet again for another market update.
Well, BZ spoke of the consistency of Easy Beast, and he's been one of the most consistent in the market throughout the day across the entire card. Now into $2.90. He stayed there for a majority of the day. Harlech, $3.30, just pushing out to $3.20. Punters continue to not be able to make their mind up there into $3.10 as I speak. Black Sail getting some good support as well at $7.50.
Well, let's head back on course and catch up with Brad Bishop, because Brad is alongside Jack Turnbull from the Mike Moroney stable. And I think it's key, Brad, that everybody wants to know, is Harlech on his best behaviour, ready to show his A-game today?
Well, he was on the toe and a little bit of a playful mood in the mounting yard there, Jack. Do you consider the way he presented today a good sign for his chances?
Yeah, he was better. Look, he always gets a little worked up when the jockey does get aboard, but massive improvement from his first up and second up performances.
What about in terms of what we might see on the racetrack from him out of those two Group 1s that here in Australia?
Yeah, he just wanted to overgo a fraction, and we just had to drop him back in trip, and we've put the black earmuffs on today and changed up the bit. So, yeah, look, we're hoping for a more relaxed way of going throughout, and hopefully he can do that.
Are you expecting him to really put his best foot forward today?
Well, yeah, look, his track work's been superb. If he can convert that to race day, then we'll be right in the finish. But he's got to be able to relax, and if he doesn't, then we're just going to have to go back to the drawing board.
There does look to be some horses in the race that will want to press forward and ensure that the race is at least genuinely run.
Yep.
Do you think it shapes up well for him in that regard?
It does, yeah. We see him a couple of pairs back. We want him to find a bum, obviously, so if he's in the 1-1 or just a fraction further back, then that'll suit us.
Best of luck.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, we're only a couple of minutes out from the start of the Benalla Gold Cup. We can see Harlech on our screen, and Felix, is he the Sportsbet market mover?
The punters have identified Harlech as one to back. Here has finally moved back into favouritism.
Good to see some punter confidence there around the horse that has got great form when you take a look at what he's done his last couple of starts. Hopefully we see the best of Harlech here. Let's hand up for the call of this year's Benalla Gold Cup with Rick McIntosh.
Seems strange seeing them mill around here at the 1400 for a Benalla Cup, but anyway, they're about to come up. Harlech and Easy Beast equal favourites at $3. I thought Harapur might have been worth a spec at $16. He's not a noted first up runner, and he always takes a run or two, but he's well graded. Hence, he's clearly the top rated horse. And he's first up for Emma Church, who would know him fairly well. The horse had a terrific record with Darren Weir before he even went to Chris Waller. And Emma Church, of course, a former foreman of the Weir camp, so she'd probably come across the horse before. And she's got him in her own care now. He's out to a juicy price. He's a Bendigo Gold Mile winner. And he's been listed placed, Group 3 placed, I think. Fourth in the Chelmsford, first up last time, but he has had an injury and he's first up from a long break. Harlech's the one that's had the 2 runs back that they're really getting behind it. And Easy Beast dominate the betting for the bet 365. Benalla Gold Cup. Bet 365 continuing to put their banner on the country tracks and kick into the country racing. Here's Sky Call coming up. Easy Beast to come into line. The cup field will be ready. Plenty of country cups coming up. St Arnaud have theirs on Sunday. And Bendigo, the Nursery of Champions, next Wednesday. Could be a chance for something to qualify for the big one. Mr. McAdam is up. Easy Beast walks in. Cup field are ready and now racing. Reine Happy went out well. He's going to try and stride across and be the leader, but it's got a lot of pressure underneath it. Red Octane, and also going forward on the inside was Aim Smart with Black Sail in the middle, and Easy Beast is 4 out there. They're followed a length and a half to Harlech, and behind it was Settle Then Lift. Sky Call was next. Well back in the race was Harapur in company with Nemeth and the last pair as they travel along the back of Moss and Me and Red Impulse. So it's been a good tempo set up by the local hope, Red Octane, who at the 800 metres leads Reine Happy by a length. Aim Smart's in the box seat, running third, and Easy Beast tucked in for a beautiful run, one out and one back. 2 lengths to Black Sail and Harlech next, and they're still going along from Sky Call. Then Nemeth and Harapur. Red Impulse, Settle Then Lift, has dropped out to join Moss and Me at the tail. Red Octane is being eyeballed by Reine Happy, who strides up on the outside and puts his head in front. Aim Smart third, Easy Beast. Harlech's coming around the outside of it. They'll make their runs together here. Reine Happy going to Red Octane. Easy Beast and Harlech are down the middle. Harlech out beyond the middle. Reine Happy never wants to give in. Black Sail's gone up on the fence. Then Easy Beast and Harlech. Here's a go. Reine Happy in front. Harlech's driving over the top though, and Harlech will win the Benalla Cup by a neck to Reine Happy. I think Black Sail third and a photo over Easy Beast. They're followed over by Red Impulse and Red Octane. The locals did their connections from Black Nemeth, and then further back in the race then to behind those runners, Sky Call, Aim Smart, Harapur, Moss and Me, and along last was Settle Then Lift. Number 2, Harlech, Too Good, Fit and Class have prevailed here coming out of Group 1 races, and not, he's won a few Benalla Cups. Normally over 2,400 has Michael Moroney. This year he's won one over 14. And I reckon that's his 3rd or 4th Benalla Cup, just off the top of my head. He's an in-tie by Darcy Brahma from Obsession. Michael Moroney, Daniel Stackhouse combined for Ballymore Stables, Hates Fletcher. Dame SS Elvis Group, N Fletcher, Miss N Walker, R and Mrs J Patton, and A and Mrs B Smedgy. 2 Harlech over the top, wins the cup. 6 second Reine Happy was as game as he always is. He tried his heart out. Number 6 for Daniel Moore and George Osborne. And 4 Black Sail on the rails has hung on to 3rd. Zach Spain for Kieran Maher and Dave Eustace in advance of Easy Beast, who had his chance 4th. It's 2, 6, 4 and 5 on the cup. 2, 6, 4 and 5. The time was 1:22.24, which is dead set 0.1 outside the track record. Remember, we are on a good 3. The rain hasn't come as yet. And it's 2, 6, 4 and 5. A half length by a long neck of the margins, a half length by a long neck. Harlech started favourite, I think, or equal at the end at $3 pace, $2.90 and $1.50. Reine Happy $4.20 and Black Sail $2.50. Quinella $40.80, Exacta $59.60, Trifecta $329.40, and the first for $1,052.50 for 2, 6, 4 and 5. Let's get down to Brad, because he's catching up with Michael Moroney's form and Jack Turnbull for a chat about that win.
I reckon you'd be taking a great deal of satisfaction out of that, Jack, seeing him get into the winner's stall here in Australia.
Yeah, very much so. And for Mike, the team and the connections, just good to see him get back to winning form and race properly.
What was the best part of his performance to your eye?
I think when they ran along at a good clip and he was able to get into a nice rhythm, it looked like he travelled kind for Stackhouse throughout. And then late in the piece, when he really stretched out, I think mile plus, when he does come back to us, will be his go, and it was just good to see him put him away today. Yeah,
this isn't anywhere near the grade he's been in his first 2 runs here, but having seen him now turn in a performance like that and get into the winner's stall, does it give you hope that he might be able to scale the grades here in Australia?
Yeah, very much so. There are options still in the coming weeks, but we'll go back, see how he comes through it, obviously, and they're nice options to have.
Back-to-back Benalla Cups, but no one's done it like you have, over the 2046 last year and over the 1406 metres this year.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Hangman was able to do it for us last time, and it's just fantastic to back it up.
Well, you have to make sure you get one involved next year. Well done today.
That's it. Thank you.
A really good performance there by Harlech, and BZ, you tipped him on top. That's what we wanted to see from the horse that had come over here with a great deal of expectation. His jump outs leading into his first start in Australia in the Sir Rupert Clarke Stakes were exceptional. He was too keen, he was too hot in the 2 Group 1s he's contested, but now with the earmuffs on and a nice speed up front, he was able to relax and we saw the best of him.
Yeah. Is it the best? I'm not completely convinced it's still the best.
I think there's merit in this performance.
There's merit, yes, no doubt, but we're talking about a horse who has been Group 1 competitive in New Zealand, now just getting over the top of a horse who's a 9-year-old who has beaten the best part of 8 lengths in a benchmark 78 at its most recent start. Yes, it was a good performance, and it was much better just to see him relax, not over race, and then hit the line. But if he's going to be competitive in some stronger races through the carnival, he needs to really step up to another level. But maybe this run could just be what he needs to take the edge off him.